Hey, young world. My name is Verbz. I'm a DJ based in Portland, Oregon, and I'm here with my brother.
I go by Steez. I'm a producer and a DJ too.
Hey, so we do on this show a little thing where we take all these records that we got
That's right.
and we play them for you guys and we react to them. We talk about them. We break it down. And today's record is going to be a slap from the West Coast Underground. Today's record is Hieroglyphics, You Never Knew. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Great diggers. All right, so I grabbed the record here. We got Hieroglyphics, You Never Knew. Let's take that all in real quick on the cover here.
I love it.
This one right here, this is great. It's coming straight out of Oakland. We got recorded at Hyde Street Studios from the album Third Eye Vision. This one, man, one of my all-time favorites here is also, so it's got You Never Knew, the album version. It's got a remix on it, and instrumentals and whatever. But it also has an absolute classic that was on like skate track or skate tapes and that kind of stuff like that. At the Helm, really featuring Del the Funky Homo Sapien in full glory. This is another group I've gotten to open up for at a festival out in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. Right. They were so cool. It was really dope to just like chop it up with these people who helped inspire me, and also like a group that really was a motivation and understanding of what like underground could be and what West Coast was, and like essentially discover that there were layers of music that you just were not being exposed to, on certain levels.
Right, like there was an indie group out there that spoke to you, but it was making classics.
Yeah. And it was
hip hop classics.
When you got production by Domino and production by Casual, so you have like crazy crew members making the beats here. It's really an insular. I mean, it was definitely this era where you had crews. It was definitely a crew-centric era. That isn't quite the same anymore, but it lends to this like unity and back and forthness, but also like you create a certain type of sound between yourselves because you guys are, like functioning and coming up with things in new and unique ways because steel sharpens steel.
Right,
absolutely
right. And I feel like Farside and Hyro bring these angles of like almost like dream-like sampling with very unique styles, very unique lyricism, very unique band members even. They did not do anything the West Coast was doing. Well, they did their own damn thing.
Well, and Del is related to Ice Cube, so he's not far off from this world, but he's like the weird cousin who's on the side who's like digging in comic books and stuff,
and smoking weed,
yeah,
space shit.
And so like you didn't have to be hard. I guess this is one of the things that I took from understanding like Hyro and Souls of Mischief and that kind of stuff that were popping at the time was that in Blackalicious, but groups that focused on their like feelings and stories and mentality, and not so much that these dudes were like the most gangster dudes. And so you didn't have to be that, which was nice because I can't say I was the most gangster dude, so it was nice to have like a way to connect to the music in a way that was understandable to me, because those are the type of things that I would write or would want to talk about.
And I guess today they still label this as more backpack rap,
for sure,
but that kind of oversimplifies shit to me, where certain groups were painting pictures and doing stuff lyrically that's still unique. And it has a huge following and sales, and of course even overseas I'm sure it's still as loved as ever, but it separates itself with the production and with the album concepts. When they put things together, it was never about just like embellishing anything that you didn't have. It was kind of just dreaming and painting pictures of shit you loved.
And telling stories. So
Yeah, storytelling was huge.
We'll get into You Never Knew. We'll play the classic LP vocal version here. There's a remix vocal. Let's listen to some of that too, and then we'll flip it over, grab some of this other stuff that's on the other side. We got At the Helm and we got Heat on this one. So yeah, we got some joints to go through. Let me clean the needle here. All right.
We've been busy.
And shout out to my guy Max Smith and Amber and Casa De Niro and everybody who's here at the We Out Here creative space here in Portland, Oregon. Thank you guys for providing us an incredible spot for us to be and record, and space looks good. So
we're loving it.
The stew.
Thank you, We Out Here.
All right, so let's get into it. Hieroglyphics, You Never Knew on Crate Diggers.
Let's go.
Oof, the vocal sample immediately. That sped up vocal. Hieroglyphics, yeah.
It just speaks to me. It's like, it's almost like a metaphor for indie hip hop, the way it drops something. That's exactly how you want it to sound.
Well, it's trying to speak to your heart immediately.
Y'all, it's not a wrong thing to be addicted to the microphone like a heroin fiend. I'll tell you one thing, you never catch me fronting, as I proceed to give the people what they wanted. You making some green, but not for glamour or fashion. I'm stacking cash until I can get moms a mansion. All from rapping. Nah, man, there's many fans like investing in land.
None of the verses miss, and almost every verse has a quarter.
Gangster clones to weirdos. Who's used those?
You gotta have a line that'll stand out every time.
And this is why people still rocking the third act shirts,
we broke out the knock, muscles hopped out they clothes. That's positive feedback. Yup, the pros are poised. We never pose.
I love how things gel together with the voices.
Till infinity, we've been inventive, creating the bump is our only incentive, and it's been a long time.
The way they
since
pass
I've
is
been
just
felt, but the only
effortless,
thing
man.
I fear is
Crazy.
fear itself. So you know what we got to do? Maybe could we keep it within the groove like it should be? Never giving out, we living out our dreams. If it's something I can't live without, that's my team. You never knew.
I see, I love that too. They living out their dreams.
Underground like silos.
Yet this is the most indie you can get. It's not a big stage. It's not big money, big change. He's living out his dreams, beating samples and stories.
When they're using that old school technique of coming back to the theme at the end of the verse, like,
Right.
that's a classic way to bring to a conclusion.
Right, or even just saying, and you never do. You know, just like dropping some bar that ties it on.
Yeah, been rhyming for more
This
than
is
a
the verse
decade.
right
On to the next stage, while MCs need aid. Stay paid, I'm still great. Hey, none of that tomfoolery. As you can see, this shit ain't nothing new to me. Utterly hovering over other things material. You stuck in the here and now. Plus you're sweating profusely. Here's a towel. Your fears are
No
now
one else would
reality.
ever say that.
When I take your dream
In their whole
states
life.
and elaborate on how your team's fake. Like G's, but
Can you go
sometimes I
back to
feel
that?
like
Can you go back
only
to
I
that?
see through
That is right there. This is how good Del is. I want y'all to hear this set of bars from Del.
dream states and elaborate on how your team's fake. Like phony IDs, but sometimes I feel like only I see through the charade you made in today. But hey, tomorrow is played, and then they got a new fool in your place to be okay.
Hieroglyphics, hip hop is vintage, invented in days back, rekindling ways that many thought was lost. In this contemporary
you know
age
what,
of methods to floss,
immediately
we find trees and trails
being in
to lay
an era
boundaries to cross. We can move
referencing
down
back
beyond the
to an
boundaries
older
of
era, you know,
earthbound
hip hop
heat
has
the
to connect with that
Coliseum.
history.
They rush the stage full throttle in Chicago. Our brains interlock. We're faking MCs get caught with the 40 bottle or get they change snatched pronto. We unstoppable, dropping flows
40
in
bottles.
Toronto, maneuvering through
love-
Vancouver.
where did 40 bottles go?
Major brands in my
You know, I love when they talk about
from the rest
how much they're bodying MC. And they do it so often.
renowned, we ground
Breaking.
musical boundaries, running circles around us.
See what I'm saying, bro? They're coming for your head, and they're just right there. And a couple of those verses, they were just talking about their day. They just got off stage. They just telling a story when they went to Chicago. That's not unrealistic to me. And as a kid, it was way more realistic to listen to this and be like, oh, I could be a part of this and enjoy this so much more because I don't got no fucking chain. I don't have no bins. I don't have 22 inches. Now listen to those layers too on the outro. Sample, drum break over a drum machine. There's a cut up
sample, yeah.
cut up vocal sample with delay, and it's filtered so that none of it is blocking the sample. It's all layered in a perfect way. I feel like something about their records that they're so great at is just immediately creating nostalgia. And you said they're throwing back to an era that's maybe 5-6 years ago before what
or even 15, but even if it's that, it's still trying to connect to this thing where it's like, you know, like we are the foundation. This is how hip hop is done. We do it this way. This is the right way. You know, like MCs do it this way.
And there's a good feeling to that. There's like a tradition and a culture that they're carrying on that doesn't necessarily carry over to a lot of the eras they get thrown into. After that, it's a lot of keyboard beats. It's a lot of dance songs. It's a lot of, I don't know, pop radio is moving in after the era that they went through. And if you're serious and you play these vinyls back, it stands to me as there's like what's that one song called, like Taxi Driver or what's?
Oh, I mean that's it's sampling Taxi Driver.
Right.
Yeah, the theme from Taxi.
There's just something to some of the biggest Hyro records to me that just fit in the all-time classics. Like you could play them on all your video games and all your skate games and basketball games and just reminisce how great that era is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just happy to have stuff that feels like this, that has this like warm aura to it, that, you know, definitely feels like a certain generation of things that is probably bygone at this point, but also always is finding ways to be reinvigorated and tapped back into. So
yeah, I mean, realistically, like Joey Badass records do this thing.
Right. I mean, this is what the nostalgia is for, right?
Right.
So let's get into the remix here. Let's listen to a little bit of it, see what we think about the remix here. It's like that, Anna. It's like that, Anna. It's like that.
I do love a well pieced together vocal chop.
Oh yeah, it's great.
They all played off of each other.
Already totally different vibe.
It's like that, Anna. Hieroglyphics, yeah. It's like that.
A little more drive in.
It's like that, Anna. Hieroglyphics, yeah.
That scratch sample.
Hieroglyphics, yeah. Hyro, y'all. It's not a wrong thing to be addicted to the microphone like a heroin fiend. I'll tell you one thing, you never catch me fronting, cause I proceed to give the people what they wanting. You making some green, but not for glamour or fashion. I'm stacking cash until I can get moms a mansion.
Yeah, this doesn't bring any of the warmth. It's more like in your face.
It feels more like a Jurassic 5 track that doesn't have all the elements there.
Almost like a bust.
Get respect when you see this. You need it, so your rap's underdeveloped like a fetus. Those that know not those, and it's
So
Like wildness and lots of big bass chops. That's a whole different thing. That I can't say that it really competes with the original. That original has me.
if we're ranking
Heart and
bopabilities, I'm gonna go original one, then the remix is well below. But you know, let's see. We got a bunch of other great tracks on this 12-inch that I got here. So let's get into not a bunch, but we got a few. At the Helm is the other song on this one here. This one really like it's one of the first ones I think I ever heard from Hieroglyphics. I was probably in like 8th grade. So let's say maybe 98, 99 era.
I'm saying before we started, it's an all-time great beat. It's an all-time great beat.
And it's a good hook. Dell comes exceptionally hard on this one. Again, it's kind of a simple but driving beat again. But let's get into it. At the Helm.
I just couldn't like the sample anymore. It's so good. Oh. People still drop this.
Almost some like Dead
for
Prez
freestyle.
style. Yeah.
People still drop this.
Here we go. Life is a blast when you know what you're doing. Best to know what you're doing for your life get ruined. Life is a thrill when your skill is developed. If you ain't got a skill or trade,
And shut the hell up. That's what we say at Great Dude.
Cracking it open, hoping to make a dent. I'm hell bent on resurrection, perfection. Less than #1.
There's like added loops as the main drop is in.
It's about fluency with rhyming ingenuity. All of this is new to
His
me.
uity,
That
under a
suffix,
suffix,
I walk a tightrope. A thin line
murders
between
that.
insanity and sanity. Mixed with a little vanity. Boosting your morality with viral hospitality. Soon to strike it rich like calories, salaries.
This is getting into the style that made him unbelievably popular on the Gorilla song.
Well, and it's the stream of consciousness rap that's coming from the West Coast in this era, especially the underground stuff, like freestyle fellowship and the good life and that kind of stuff. All that stuff is very much stream of consciousness. So he's bouncing between topics and just really focusing on the flow and rhyme.
Does sound like he's figuring it out.
You can't see this. Your defeatist attitude will get you nowhere fast. I tend to my task, cause life is a blast when you know what you're doing. Best to know what you're doing for your life get ruined. Life is a thrill when your skill is developed. If you ain't got a skill or trade, then shut the hell up. Life is a blast when you know what you're doing. Best to know what you're doing for your life.
I told you, man, this is an all-time beat
thrill when your
for me.
skill is developed. If you ain't got a skill or trade, and shut the hell up. Don't even start on the next man.
This is my favorite thing he's rapped on next to Mastermind.
No patience. Flip on niggas, rob niggas, even family. All the way up to your moms, you can't stand to be in the house. But when
Like,
you
it's
get
so
out,
good,
you
it
ready to
reminds me
come
of,
back
like,
in, then the same
the
old
best
shit
Method Man
happens.
and RZA
You
songs.
rapping, but you don't
It's
know
like,
the essence. Just
you know which ones I'm
what
talking
the
about
captain
before you
said.
even listen to them.
Just every time I put
And
some skrill
that-
down, you
that
see a
combination of
way teaching me a lesson.
how well the
Remix.
sample fits
Your
the
rap
rapper.
reflects your life, and that's a shame, 'cause the way it sounded,
There's
you
no
must
one
have
better
that
than
name.
this-
I can
this
see
type
you
of combo.
came from the
You're talking
ghetto, but
about
you came from the meadow.
originality
You
on the
really need
beat
to let that
and
go.
the
You
most
gotta respect
eccentric
the
artist you
hip-hop.
can talk
You
about
trying
over
to
the top.
rhyme, buying your time, and I find it a crime. I even
he
tried to
definitely
bury the hatchet,
defined
man,
his
'cause
own
we all
style for, like,
African.
I mean,
You wanna be a rapper, start practicing.
you're
You can't even flow
West Coast
right. Spend most of your
underground,
time for hickles getting in fights,
Del
hanging
kind
out
of is
with no
the
mission in life,
standard
and you're
model
missing
for
your life, and
Yeah,
you'll be missing
yeah,
out
especially
on
because,
life.
like you said,
I won't sweat
he was
you
a
for that
freestyle
G you
goat.
stole, 'cause if you're still alive,
So,
I'll be there to see you fall.
I mean, verses
Life is a
and
blast when you know
album
what you're doing,
choices,
but to know what you're
his
doing
whole
for your
style.
life get ruined.
I got to
Life is
open
a
up for
thrill when
Del
your
one
skill
time
is
at
developed.
the
If you
Rosen
ain't got a
Theater
skill or
with
trade, then shut
Kid
the hell up.
Koala.
Life
Kid
is a
Koala
blast
wearing
when
like
you know what you're doing, but to know
a
what
teddy
you're
bear
doing for your
outfit,
life get
and
ruined. Life is a
I remember
thrill
going
when your
downstairs
skill is developed.
with
If you
Tope
ain't
and
got a
we
skill or
got
trade,
a
shut the
little
hell up.
photo
You
and
can
got
be
some
a
stuff
rapper,
signed.
actor, a gun killer, a comedian,
Del was
provided
just like the
laughter
most
as a
laid
bachelor,
back
a
dude.
pastor,
It
a
was just
shopper, a
like,
doctor, a lawyer,
you
a fireman,
want a photo
man,
with
whether
Del,
boy
you go
or
gather
girl,
around
it's your
Del.
world,
He
your
ain't
future,
standing
you
up
control it.
for
Whatever
the
you do
crib.
early
That's
on is how you
crazy.
mold it.
Yeah, he was
I'm
hella
the
cool.
Lord that sold it, told it to you. Mr. Del wouldn't tell you nothing that ain't true, because life is a blast when you know what you're doing. Best to know what you're doing for your life get ruined. Life is a thrill when your skill is developed. If
Now
you
we
ain't
had to
got a
run that
skill
whole
or
shit.
trade, then
It's-
shut the hell up.
That's a hip hop classic. And we played two of them too. And I know you don't just like take these songs and go, "That's West Coast hip hop." It's so fucking West Coast hip hop. Now that we're in a new era, a different era of hip hop, we can go back and be like, look at all the shit they did in the independent West Coast, and that's also a West Coast sound.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. We got one more track on here. It's called Heat. This one's less familiar to me, so let's
I don't
drop.
remember this.
Let's drop.
You know it's gonna go somewhere crazy.
Of course.
Always.
Well, I mean, if the other first two tracks are indication of where we're at.
We need to like make some shit like to where they can really know like what it be like, where I be at. And so I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna
pretty heavy.
sing that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. Check it out, bro. One of those. I mean, you get your dogs wanna lock with John. They got way more angles than an octagon. I'm gonna rock you like you're Shaka
Yeah.
Khan. Yeah, these niggas blowing up, but they not.
Loving the
mine.
verse.
That's why I odd time. Keep it hot with no monotony.
It's alright.
Properly rocking these spots.
Bro,
That's all
the
I got to
verses.
be. Stopping me might get your pop. This ain't democracy. I could be starting a hip hop monopoly now.
You didn't panic, I got stretched, something ridiculous, but don't panic, cause I'm
You know something Hyro's so sick at is adding delay to vocals.
You gon' get into this,
At the end of
not a coincidence
a great bar, when you hear it ring out, it just makes it sound doper. It sounds more classic. And that actually goes hand in hand with this era of just kind of fading out. Don't blind.
Microphones, strike your dome with
Got Del back.
microphones to splice you open.
So much delay on them.
Most them C's, roast them C's. Who is as they supposed to be.
I'm one of the most cunning, compulsive, oh so swift.
It's always interesting too when they choose to do verse changes. You know, like do you do 8 bars? Do you do 4?
These are eights. These are for sure eights, right?
I express, deliver the best to give it.
I love when they switch the order up too. It's always something you're not exactly expecting. But they all have a 6 voice and style.
My own, I can't rely on no company to be pumping me. That's why I don't sell my ass to get written or walking past. We get in where we fit in with precision in class. So bet your last money it's gonna be a stone gas. Honey, if
It's
the
got
beats
good
don't
bounce.
catch your ass running away. Hey, nerves is sprayed when these verbs is sprayed. Energy surges, reverberate disturbance.
I condone microphones, strike the dome with hypertones to splice you open. Twice as dope than most MCs. Roll some seeds.
You know if you can get down to come up to that hook,
Bring on
it's
the
already
beast
gonna
wars,
be
I'll
sick.
leave your teeth
He doesn't
sore.
do all the hooks.
All right, we'll back up out of this one. So that was Heat from Hieroglyphics. Before that, it was At the Helm, and before that, You Never Knew. So let's say bopability. Let's rank them out. Could you rank these 3?
It's tough to me because it's like Dell is almost in his own lane doing At the Helm.
Yeah.
But Hieroglyphics, You Never Knew, is like, to me, a very right up there. It's right up there with 93 Till as far as, I mean, I'm not going to put it on that pedestal, but it is that level of classic to that group.
Yeah.
And it goes right up there with Farside and Souls and Tribe and things like that that bring so much nostalgia and amazingly soulful samples on top of that.
Yeah.
Something that just like is, we all know, fans of hip hop, that's something that's irreplaceable.
You have, things that kind of sound similar in this vein, like Evidence style stuff,
Yeah.
Alchemist stuff,
Yeah.
Dilated Peoples, Beat Nuts, some of these things that kind of touch in these veins.
Blacklicious, like you said.
Yeah, Blacklicious. And they all make up interesting and, I guess I'd say like bits of the genre, like
Sure.
getting their own spaces within the genre
Yeah.
where it's like, this is for this type of cat, the skateboarder kid or the
And that's why I
backpack
can't do
kid
the
or
1, 2, 3. But I mean,
Yeah.
of course, Heat is probably the song that most people know the least.
Right.
It wasn't hitting as hard as the other two, but I can't rank because it's just so soulfully Dell on At the Helm that I'd say that's a solo Dell record that stands out so high. But You Never Know is my second favorite. You Never Knew is my second favorite Hyro song.
I mean, it's got to be up there. That one is definitely one of the ones where you're like, that beat is super distinct and could stand on its own and be its, like whoever's on it, somebody was going to make something dope out of that. So I got to say the Hieroglyphics, one of the West Coast greats. I'm super happy to be able to play this record here and talk about it with you guys.
Oh yeah.
Man, it feels good to be back doing Crate Diggers once again.
This is nice. We out here.
We out here. Thank you much for taking care of us once again. And we better get in and choose our next record for the next episode. So,
That's right, one more
Steez, since I always give it to you to choose, let's go 1 through 20.
Let's go 10. Make you dig just a little bit.
Okay, 1, 2. Those aren't records. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10.
Wow.
Let's see what we got, chat.
We've got Geto Boys, Mind Playing Tricks on Me. Wow.
I think this goes perfect with what we've been talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going back down south. We'll get some Scarface, another guy who I got to do a show with, and it's absolutely a legend. One of the craziest shows I ever got
We're
to
going
do.
through tons of legends in these first 6 episodes.
That's all we're doing around here. So welcome back to Crate Diggers once again. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends, tell your mom about it.
Leave a comment on what you want to see.
Say, I listen to this podcast, and then you can start whatever it is, because I know that's how most conversations start in 2024.
That's how it is.
I read an article in the New Yorker, or I heard on a podcast. So, so yeah, I'm excited to be back and playing music with you guys. Appreciate you, Steez, for doing this. So yeah,
Dude,
we'll see
it's
you
so fun.
again next time on Crate Diggers. Let's go.
Later.
Crate Diggers.